At the break of dawn, in the middle of the Arizona desert, a crowd of strangers meet for one purpose.
You guys coming out here to help me out, I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
To help another stranger, a father desperately searching for his 24-year-old son, Daniel Robinson.
Since he was a child, he liked to challenge everything.
He was born with a challenge.
And I wanted to introduce him to prosthetics because he's born one hand. We quickly learned that that's something that Daniel don't want. He let nothing stop him. He decided to be a geologist once he got into freshman year in college. He excelled that, he graduated with honors.
Daniel's first job is checking the viability of water wells in the Arizona desert.
He loved this area, of course, because of the rock formation. You're a geologist, this is the best place to be.
But the terrain became a hellscape for his dad when Daniel went missing back in June from his job site. And what number search is this?
This is search number 14.
Navigating the dangers in the desert, the Army veteran knows firsthand time is of the essence.
When I called the Buckeye Police Department, they told me that I had to wait an extra 3 hours because they had a 12-hour, report time when you can say a person is missing. Then I called them back and put in a missing person report. I got very worried. That's when I got very worried. I asked the Buckeye Police Department to go out and search that area. The officer told me that they were going to send a vehicle out there, a helicopter out to search for him. I was relieved. And then he called back an hour later, said, no, it was a no-go. I'm his dad, and he's my son. I've lost all sense of reality. At that moment, I said, you know what? They're not going to look for my son. I'm going to have to do it myself.
Before he arrived, police did decide to search on foot and with helicopters. This is the last place your son was seen?
The last place.
What do you think happened, David?
I think a lot happened here. I'm very suspicious.
But he doesn't know what. A month in, there's a break in the case, and police call Robinson.
I got afraid, actually, that it's going to be some bad news. He said, no, we just found his vehicle.
Some ranchers found it, and then at that point, we conducted our investigation and additional searches.
What was the condition of the car? If it had rolled over, it sounds like it was pretty bad.
Yeah, the car was on its side. The sunroof was kicked out at that point, so he might have exited through the sunroof.
His wrecked car in a ravine, both airbags deployed, Daniel's cell phone, clothes he was wearing that day, and a case of water all found at the crash site. But not Daniel. People don't just disappear into thin air.
True.
Does that sort of feel like what's happened to here?
Yes. Yeah, it's very, very challenging case.
No matter how much the family asks for this to be a criminal investigation, can you make that happen?
We can't make up evidence. Absolutely suspicious circumstances related to the case.
Frustrated and heartbroken, Robinson hired a private investigator. Where are we going?
Down here is where the vehicle was recovered from.
Is that the glass from the car?
Yes.
When you looked at this accident, what are the discrepancies that you noticed right away?
I believe it was in more than one collision.
What does the data from the black box of the car tell you?
That there was 11 additional miles on the vehicle since the airbags came out.
What does that tell you?
That tells me it was crashed somewhere else.
Does that sound suspicious? What explains that?
Well, we had the national expert that came in and provided us his findings, and then they ended up speaking to an expert at Jeep, and the expert says, yes, sometimes that happens, and it's not unusual.
But the data also shows someone tried to start the car 46 times after the crash.
That's something we can't explain.
It begs the question, again, the family is saying it's criminal. It's got to be, or he's in danger. Do something.
Right. No, I agree. But we need information. We need evidence.
He's got a lot of theories. His words, I think, were, I don't think they cared. What do you say to that?
Can be furthest from the truth.
Losing hope, Robinson began pleading for media coverage.
It literally took 3 months.
While Robinson searched for his son, the country became riveted by media coverage of another missing persons case, the case of Gabby Petito.
In my situation, people think I love our children less or something, or they're less important.
In 2020, more than 543,000 missing persons records were filed. More than 480,000 were cleared. And 40% of the missing are people of color.
There are a lot of Gabby Petitos and Natalie Holloways in the Black and brown community.
That's why former police officer Derica Wilson co-founded Black and Missing Inc. and says too often their cases go untold. Eventually, local stations did stories and citizens began helping search. Did you know Daniel?
No, I just wanted to help.
You're just helping out a stranger on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Why?
You know what? I can't imagine what that man's going through.
As the search for Daniel goes into its 5th month, another family is in the midst of a terrible mystery for a 5th year. The family of Nikki and Ariana Fitz.
Ariana is very energetic, very happy.
2-year-old Ariana went missing under the most suspicious of circumstances in the San Francisco Bay Area in 2016. Her mother, Nikki Fitz, was found in a shallow grave in San Francisco's McLaren Park, but Ariana was gone.
It breaks my heart that Ariana's not with her mom and Ariana's not with her family, but it also breaks my heart even more is that I know that Nikki wants nothing more than Ariana to be with us, to be home.
Tessa Fitz says she is convinced her niece Ariana was taken by people close to Ariana's mother. San Francisco police searched for weeks. They had some leads, but no arrests. A digitally altered photo was made of what she may look like now.
And she's 8 now. I don't want to see this in a picture. I want to see her face in person.
Should Ariana Fitz be a household name like JonBenet Ramsey?
Absolutely. Why is her case any different from Kaylee Anthony? I can tell you, the color of their skin is the only difference.
For 5 desperate years, the family has continued searching using flyers, social media, and Black and Missing Inc.
Do you think it has anything to do with color?
I try not to put myself in the mindset of the race issue with her media coverage. All I want is for there to be the media coverage for her. I think she deserves that.
The Fitz and the Robinsons want only one thing, with hugging their missing children once again.
Do you think that Ariana is still alive?
I do believe that Ariana is still alive, and it would mean everything to me to know where she is and to find her. I wait for that day every single day. I believe that day will come.
How long will you search?
Till I find my son. I have to. I mean, he's my responsibility.
Sarah Seidner, CNN, Buckeye, Arizona.
is Daniel Robinson. I attend AC Flora, and I'm planning to major in geology at the College of Charleston.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm David. I'm David Robinson, the father of Geologist Daniel Robinson. We're out here to do a candlelight visual on behalf of my son, and also to bring light into other families who are going through similar situations. So thank you. I'm thanking everybody who's out here to support. We need to stand in solidarity to bring attention to this case and to make a statement.
Oh, I'll be your shelter, I'll be your armor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. You are my shelter from the storm. You keep me safe inside your wings. You are my comfort when life gets hard. You lead me to water to drink. Your gentle hand, even when I can't understand, I know your voice. I'm not afraid. Walking with me at the same pace.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. And after a year, I'm still continually to search for him. Thank you, everybody, for coming in this morning. My name is David Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. My son Daniel went missing on June the 23rd of last year, just doing his job at a work site. He's working out there in the Sonoran Desert of Buckeye, Arizona. There, my son, he's a geologist, also called a field geologist for a company called Matrix New World. Is also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater. His job is to go out and check the viability of wells, whether they'll be in one city to the next in Arizona. And the reason why they use these geologists for those well sites is because by law, these wells have to produce at least 100 years of water, and his job determines that. Also, it determines what's going on in the viability of the wells, what's going on in the rock settlements and things like that at the bottom. So excuse my screen, everybody. I have a little problem with my green screen today. But then again, but I want you all to continue on with the story. My son went missing on that day when he first started off with one well site about 7 o'clock that morning. And after he went to that first well site, he ended up going to the second well site where he eventually would become missing. According to the story of a worker that was waiting on my son at that well site from a company called Weber, this worker said that my son had contacted him to get directions. I can verify that by my son's phone records that a phone call was put out. But my son did reach out to this worker, according to this worker, to get directions to the well site. Once my son arrived to the well site area out there on Sun Valley Parkway, right outside of the desert area where the well site would be, they met on the roadway of Sun Valley Parkway. According to the worker, they had a quick conversation. My son followed him into that desert. They went 1 mile west and then they went 2 miles north so they can arrive to this well site. Once arriving on the well site, this worker said that my son and he and my son had almost about a 10-minute conversation. It was roughly from around 9 o'clock. And they had a 10-minute conversation. Between that conversation and the details of that, you guys, everybody know about that detailed part of it. One thing that I really don't see as being something that's really plausible, but this worker said that my son eventually waved off to him and just disappeared to never be seen again. Almost 30 days later, my son's vehicle was found in a ravine right here in this picture right here behind me. That's the exact picture. The background of that picture of the ravine where my son's vehicle was found. His clothing, everything on his body, supposedly be his clothing, was found 3 feet away from the vehicle in a pile almost 30 days after my son was missing. What we do know about my son's case is the fact that
My son, the first initial accident of this, first initial crash of this vehicle here happened 4 hours after my son went missing. My son went missing roughly around 9 o'clock that morning, a little after 9. And the vehicle's, the first initial crash happened around 1 o'clock, according to the data and everything we found, the evidence we found about the vehicle. The vehicle was pretty much, as we can understand, has been staged there. His clothing had been put there because the only thing we can look at is the fact that the Buckeye Police Department, who's in charge of my son's case, did 2 searches. They did one almost 3 days after my son went missing. And that search, they went over this area here with the Phoenix Firebird helicopter. They was telling me they searched this area thoroughly and did not find this vehicle or Daniel. And then almost 2 weeks later, they searched this area again with Civil Air Patrol. And they searched it thoroughly. According to them, the Civil Air Patrol is supposed to be very good at what they do. The vehicle wasn't here. And also on July the 19th, when the vehicle was found by a rancher who was coming through the area, searching for his cattle, tracking his cattle. When he got out there, he said, to his testimony is that 2 to 3 days prior, the vehicle wasn't here in his ravine because he came through that ravine. His cattle goes through that ravine to get to a corral south of that of this area. But according to the Buckeye Police Department, who want to stick to their story, this vehicle was still here in their eyes. You know, they put it here and it's still here in their eyes. You know, they put it here based on their, what I'm saying is based on their test, what they're saying on their report, that they just somehow missed it, right? Twice. They have somehow missed it in the rancher's line, actually. So the vehicle was, according to them, when they report, they still want to place the vehicle here. They want to place the initial accident here, which everything does not make sense. Like I said, with evidence, they ignoring a lot of evidence just to stick to their story, their theory. And so today, you know, I come here to answer any of your questions that you have about my son's case, to set the record straight about some things. If you guys have questions as well. You know, it's been a year for me and my family. It's been very hard. You can probably tell I'm struggling today, and I will be for a while. I'm sure I will be on this Q&A. Excuse the screen as well. You know, get a little problem with that, but you know, struggling today. You know, the day is especially hard. You know, coming back on the Q&A after, you know, saying my son just been missing. He's been missing a year now. Mentally, is very tough. You know, sometimes I sit here and, you know, just wonder what to do next. You know, one of the things I have been doing, as you guys know, I did over 40 weeks of searches out there in the desert with volunteers, as well as cover over 32 or more acres of land out there in the desert in the search for my son. You know, I have been doing following leads, going out to different cities to follow leads that we've been getting, and also been doing flyer distribution as well as city searches. You know, those flyer distributions will go out to blocks and blocks with volunteers, so passing out flyers, put them on vehicles and things like that. So it's been a lot of efforts and stuff like that towards finding my son for an entire year. You can imagine the frustration that my family and myself is going through because of that, because we don't have too much of law enforcement to back us up. I did hear law enforcement try to say, hey, don't make it so broad. All police is not bad. And I still say, no, all police is not bad. And I really do agree with that. But I think if you don't do your job, or if you're complicit in the ones that are not doing it, then you're just the same. So really, we're trying really hard right now for a whole year to try to reach out to law enforcement, to different law enforcement agencies to help. And I'm looking for these agencies to do you know, do what they can to help me in my son's case, because it's obvious that the Buckeye Police Department that I'm dealing with now haven't done the job properly. They have damaged, in my opinion, my son's case really bad here, and I lost my confidence in that department, and I don't want them to continue to add to that destruction that they caused. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll tell you guys, the most important thing for a family who have a missing loved one is that the law enforcement listen to that family. The first thing that family say, hey, my loved one is missing. I know the pattern of my loved one. They need to go out and look for this person immediately, not almost 3 days later, but immediately. They shouldn't have come with assumptions to say, oh, he's a grown man, he can disappear if he want to, without evidence of a person saying they just want to disappear because they want to. So just want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can as a father, everything I can as a man, everything as an American citizen, to bring attention to that kind of stuff. What's happening in my son's case, what happened to me and my family, as well as other families that have been coming out here, who's currently fighting for their loved one. So this morning, I just want to go back into the Q&A section of everything and start answering some of these questions. I want to thank you, first of all, you guys, for coming out here. You don't have to do this, but you have, and I'm really grateful that you've been, very, very wonderful at, being out here to support all this time, especially you that come out every Q&A. I know you constantly hearing some of the same things over and over again, but that's my job. That's my job as a father. I have to make sure that I put those this information out. It may be over and over, it may be redundant, and maybe some things I'm saying over and over again. But you know what? There's always somebody who's going to come into the Q&A who haven't been here before, who need to hear those things and need to ask those questions. And I need to give those answers as well as I can. Those things are not, interfere with my investigation, as well as my investigator and my, some questions that definitely shouldn't be answered, but definitely want to be able to answer the ones I can, and get everybody understanding what's going on in my son's case, because it's important to get his information out there. Because I'm looking for that one person. I'm looking for that one person or persons who knows something that happened to my son, who knows who have an idea or information, and they reluctant to share. You know what I'm saying? My job is right now is to reach out for that person and reach out and get that awareness out there. And that's to ask you guys if you can help me get that awareness out there. So I've been doing that, like I said, through flyer distributions to you name it. You name it. Speaking of that, if anybody wants to help distribute flyers, become an ambassador for your city, you can reach me at please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. If you guys can express that to me, and my team can actually help me get your names and stuff together. So definitely been trying to work on that for a while now. Something that's really, really, really urgently needed right now, because like I said, I just want to reach out to those person or those persons who may know something and reluctant to say something. But I do have, for that person, I say it over and over again, I have the tip line there, the anonymous tip line, for that one person or persons who knows something and reluctant to say something. I'm waiting on that person to show some humanity and bring some end and some closure to what's going on in my son's case. You know what I'm saying? I know somebody knows something, somebody heard something, and just probably reluctant to say something. But that's what anonymous tip line for. It's called anonymous tip line for a reason. If you want to be anonymous, you don't have to be. But if you want to be anonymous and you want to say something about my son, by all means, you need to use this number. It's time to step up. It's time to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and speak and let me know what's going on. Just put that information out there. Like I said, it's anonymous tip line, and that is for. You can also text the word tip to that number if you just don't want to talk to anybody. Please just go ahead and just do the right thing. Just do the right thing and stop all of this. That it will help me as well as not being out there in the desert, for instance, doing 40 some weeks of searching, not knowing exactly where to look. God forbid if my son is out there, but if he's out there, if you need to say something. If my son is somewhere else, if you need to say something. So, just like I said, just help this family out, help me out, and just be honest. Just be honest and start talking out, because it's going too far. It's going too far, and I need to get some form of closure in my son's case. So, you guys, if you want to help, also, I'm still asking you guys to reach out to law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? Let them know, hey, look, I lost confidence in this department. I need my son's case to move into a different venue, the different place. I need it there. There's other departments around. One thing I learned about policing is they have the ability to hand my son's case over to someone else. If they have any kind of integrity about themselves, they lost the confidence of the family, they should move my son's case over to somewhere else, to another department. Another department, being the police, should be willing to take on my son's case. So definitely want that to happen. I'm really pushing for that. Like I said, I no longer want this department, Buckeye, that is, to handle my son's case. In my opinion, they did a shoddy job, as well as don't have the seriousness that it takes to do the job. I have not one time had them to voluntarily come out to help me in my searches. After 40 some weeks, not one time. The only 2 times the Buckeye ever came to the searches is under my request. I had to literally write letters to their chief, Chief Hall, to get them to come out first time, like I said, empty-handed. I mean, I had enough volunteers out there. I didn't need anybody to walk on the dirt or to ride in their little razor that they got and just kind of ride around not doing anything. I needed law enforcement to spend money, spend some of that tax money, spend some of the money that we put out there to go find my son. They have the technology, they have the ability to get technology, they have the ability to get the resources that I was needing out there from day one out there in the desert, but they chose not to do so. So, but they chose to hire their own private investigator when they did not like what my investigator found what happened at the scene. They hired one just to rebut everything that he found. I mean, this is tangible evidence, that my investigator found, and they wanted to rebut that. However, at the same time, the investigator they hired never even seen my son's vehicle, never touched it, never smelled it or anything. His clothing, never seen it, never seen anything from the scene, but had made a full-page report. That just says a lot. I'm telling you guys, if you really pay attention to that, that says a lot to understand how can the department use third-party information to give to a investigator to making a judgment call on something he never seen or examined for himself. So, that type deal. So, I mean, that tell you what kind of shoddy works have been done. I don't like it. It's not something approved by me or my family. And, like I said, I need to move on from that. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming in here to the Q&A. Yes, I have a little chip on my shoulder. It's be one of those times, it's always going to be that way, from now on. After a year, you can imagine how rough, like I said, how things have gotten here. It's very frustrating for me to constantly be fighting, and then not really getting much back. I think I get more lip service than I do action. And, trying to make sure I'll fight through it. I'm telling you, I'm a fighter and I'm going to keep going. I'm a fighter. People haven't seen anything yet. If they keep on, not really thinking I'm playing or I'm joking about my son, then I have to be really serious about what's happening from this point on, because it's too much. It's a little too much to constantly try to reach out to law enforcement, try to reach out for help, and then nobody's really, to give you lip service and not really giving you action. I'm a man of action. I like the action. That's why you see me out here, me out there in the desert. That's why you see me constantly searching for I'm a man of action. I'm not a man who gonna say, I'm a trust in God and fold my hands together and sit around the house and wait somebody to knock on the door. No, I'm getting out there in the streets. I'm getting out there working hard. I put a lot of hours in with the volunteers to go find my son. Like I said, I'm not on vacation. I'm not enjoying some trip or doing something. No, I'm here looking for my son. I'm really, really trying the best way I can, the best way I know how. And like I said, I'm a man of action and not a man of some just moving around. Just staying still with my hands in my pocket or something and hoping somebody else would do something. No, sometimes you got to do things for yourself. You got to work for yourself and make things happen. So especially when it comes to your own child, when it comes to your own family member, you have to do what you got to do and stand up. So again, I'm glad. Thank you for you guys for standing up with me. I'm trying to get to these questions here. Thank you, Tia Wildflower, for being here this morning. We're gonna get through this thing this morning. Also, thank you, Moments of Mojo Foster, for being here this morning. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Esther, for being here this morning. Cha Cha B. If you guys have any questions, please put the word question there before your questions. Also, the capital letter Q or some question marks or things like that. As I'm coming down the comment section, I will answer your questions. If I somehow miss it, please ask again. Try to get all the questions I can. I can tell you one thing as well. I will have another Q&A this evening. It's at 5:30 Phoenix time. And that's also Pacific time, as well as 8:30 Eastern time. So if you got 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, if you guys want to come out this evening as well, please by all means join me in the Q&A. Maybe I have a better screen, then I could work on that. I don't know what's going on with my green screen and make me look like I'm kind of disappearing into it. But I'll be working with that as well. But if you have any questions that I somehow missed your question this morning, come back and bring them again. Also, if anybody have any family member that's missing, they want to join me, on the Q&A. You can do that as well. We had Sherry last week, and I would like to bring her back on again. Really was happy to bring her on last week. But as well as I want to help other families. If you guys want to come on, please hit us up. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com, and you definitely can be on this Q&A. Like I said, this YouTube channel is not just for awareness for my son. That's what my main priority is. However, at the same time, I want to help other families. It's also for family members who want to use this platform, the little that I do have, to push their loved one's story out there. So you reach out to us, and definitely would love to have you on. So I want to also make sure I mention that. Thank you, Barry, for being here this morning, and being also the moderator and also everything you do. I really appreciate you. God bless you as well for being here. Yeah, don't forget to thank you, Barry, for putting that up. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to this channel. You guys have pushed us up to over 1,000 subscribers fairly quickly what I hear from content creators for YouTube. I started this channel just for one thing, to bring awareness to my son's case, because as you imagine, over time, the media, when I say media, I'm talking the news media, and those are like lose interest. They have to sell stories, they have to get ratings and things like that. And sometimes no matter how passionate these medias are, when I say the media is, I'm saying the journalist or the person who's actually doing the story is, they have a job, and this company have to put those ratings out there. And what's a lot of times when the story gets old, or something new happened, then stories like my son been missing, though it's very important to me and my family, it goes pushed under the rug. So you have to create your own. You have to create your own channel. You have to create your own way of getting your person's name out there. So I decided to do that. Hey, look, I'm have to utilize what we have. It's a tool. YouTube is a tool. Like I told you all guys before, although I looked at YouTube as is a place I go to often. The only time I come to YouTube is to share videos to my family videos, or how to do something. Hey, how to put up a tripod for a camera or something. I'm just saying how to put shingles on a roof or something, or change an engine or something. Some type of deal. That's what YouTube is for me. It's a tool in that fashion. But as well as talking to a lot of content creators who had me on their YouTube channel, John Q, Q Collard, Gizzler K, Grizzly True Crime, and some of the others. I have learned really quickly that it's a tool. It's a tool to be able to get out to other people. A lot of people utilize YouTube to get their news. Some of them just want to do other things. I didn't understand of people using podcasts and things like that. I wasn't into that world, understanding that people was actually doing that. They have thousands and millions of subscribers and stuff. So to me, that was a tool and a way to get Daniel's story out. I think it's more powerful sometimes than the news media itself. And so I say, hey, look, that's what I'm going to do, get my son's name out there. And like I say, I'm really ready right now to also share that with others. So thank you, Sophia, for being here also as well. Thank you so much for your efforts and everything you do in the background, moderating, and also being a part of the team, as well as doing everything outside of your own business. I really appreciate you coming in here this morning on Q&A as well to help. All right. Then thank you also, Shauna, also as well, being a team member. All the team is here. Team and the moderators is here this morning. I really appreciate you all coming out, and also being a board member as well. Thank you so much for being here this morning. T&. Wildflowers, thank you for being here. Also, Rachel Arnold, thank you for being here. Tub883, thank you for being here. Seema, thank you for being here as well. Really grateful for you guys coming out here. I see some of these familiar names. And thank you, Ruth, the player, for being here. Hello to you as well. And, we had a fast and prayer. Thank you so much. Yes. And, that'll be coming up again every Wednesday, close to the 23rd of every month. We had the fast and the prayer for Daniel. So you guys want to come back for that. It has a lot of great things been happening. Sometimes like this past fast and prayer that we had, it's very difficult, guys, to maintain everything that's happening here, happening in Arizona. And I be looking for answers. I look for God to provide or for instance, or to make avenues and ways. as soon as that happens, I get more interviews to you name it. A lot of things do happen. A lot of great things do happen through the fast and prayers. Also, give me a little more strength to keep pushing. Like I said, it's not an easy task. When you're constantly moving and constantly doing things and thinking of ways to try to find your son and trying to reach out to people and almost begging law enforcement to do something. And at the same time, not being able to sit back and just literally just grieve your son or I can't do that. I don't have the pleasure to sit back and just grieve my son being missing. I have to try to stay focused and to constantly keep pushing, and sometimes it get rough. It gets very rough. That's why you guys can see how I came on this morning. It's rough, until I get really going throughout the day. So it gets rough in the morning. My roughest time is at night most of the time when I'm able to stop for a few hours or so and to just have a thought, and it gets rough. So I don't get a chance to grieve. Thank you, Brooke, for being here this morning. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you for resetting your phone. Yeah, I probably had some, you didn't miss anything. I'm glad you're here this morning and being a part of this Q&A, coming out here and take your morning and your time out for this. I do have a first question. Thank you, Shauna. Okay, didn't know again. Take that back. See, that let me know it works. If you have a question, please start with the Q or the word question or a question mark before your question. That helped me as I'm coming down, just like I did when I saw that with Shauna's, definitely putting information out there for you guys. That helps out a lot as I'm coming down the comment section. I can definitely run into your question and it helped me not overlook it. So definitely, I see a bunch of Q's coming up. So really, thank you so much, you guys, for in advance those who had the questions. Thank you, Brooklyn Rose, for being here. Thank you, Beans 1170 for being here this morning, and thank you for your prayers all the way from Philly. I really appreciate that. Thank you, OG. Thank you, Jitterbug. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your love and your prayers. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on again as well. All right, I do have a question here from Beans 1170. Thank you for asking your question, and thank you for being here off the YouTube side of this Q&A. Okay, what if anything has the police done with the investigation? Well, one thing I can say, as in what they claim they did, all thing I can think of is the Buckeye Police Department said they did a search, which is almost like I told you guys before, almost 3 days after my son went missing, right? And I also know that they did a second search about 2 weeks after that first search. They have done that, they say, as well as the other part that I do know, because that's during the time they did a search. They said on July the 19th, off a month after my son went missing, they did a search July, like I said, 19th, when that vehicle showed up in that ravine. Like I said, so those are three things I do know that the department have done. And as in other things, they have so-called told me they went to the Waffle House, for instance, and got video footage of my son at the Waffle House. But now they retracting all that and saying they just had still videos. I guess because I'm talking on Q&A a lot about how they just gave me still pictures of the video. But now they're claiming they ain't saying the word videos anymore that they did in the past. Now they're saying, oh, we just got still pictures too. That's bogus to me, because I don't know any Waffle House or any facility would have just still pictures of a video to give to the law enforcement when they're going in to check the videos on their camera. That like the store actually have these still videos. Say, hey, here you go, sir. This all we got is these still videos of just Daniel, in the store. No, that's BS. That's just what that's the kind of stuff they do to me and my family when I ask questions about what's going on and try to figure out if they got doing anything or helping me to search for my son, doing as much as I'm doing personally to find my son. The other thing they say they did is have a video of my son at the so-called gas station getting a few dollars of gas or whatever. But now they're retracting that as well. They said they don't have no video. They just have some kind of picture or something. So that type stuff. So I don't know what they're doing. To me, in my opinion, what they have been doing in this investigation is looking out for themselves, playing games, playing word games on there, report, putting out false information about me and my family on their report, and things like that. So the only thing I can see from that department is what they have done in this investigation, in my opinion, has damaged my son's investigation from the get-go. Didn't take it serious, didn't do any forensic work on the scene, things like that. So that's what I see. That's the only thing I see from my angle, what this department done. I haven't seen them come out to me in my searches on their own to try to provide money. I haven't seen any resources that they claim to have. They say, hey, we reached out to other agencies. See, they play these word games, and therefore we reached out to other agencies. No other agencies ever contacted me to say that, or my family to say they're doing any kind of search for my son or anything towards my son. I'm still inquiring. I'm had to ask Phoenix, did they actually use their helicopter out there that they claim they got from the Phoenix Firebird and things like that? Had that helicopter even flew? That's one thing I asked the team to kind of help remember. You guys hear me to have been wanting to do this for a while, is to actually verbally ask the Phoenix Police Department about this as well. So that's the only thing I could think of. I can't think of anything really, because from day one, my family, for instance, was asking for cell phone pings. That's one of the first things we asked for. They couldn't get that. We asked them for pictures of any kind of video that my son ever been in Arizona. Like, he lived in Arizona almost 3 years at the time, and we wanted to see any kind of footage of him leaving his home, going to his job or wherever he's going, any place in Arizona. Somehow, magically, my son, according to the way they tell me, they couldn't find anything. I guess my son was riding around in a cloaked vehicle for all those years. Only one they came up with was some video they had, a picture that you guys seen, that little picture they put on there. I don't know what you call it, a thing they put out to say this person is missing. His vehicle of my son is very blurry in the back, and you can't really see the tag. The picture they put up on their site about my son vehicle, they got that from the time my son went to California, was heading out to California, but they got something on the interstate from that. But here in Arizona, and they don't have anything. So, like I said, anything we asked for, the Uconnect in this vehicle, so it's like an OnStar. We need some information in that. Can you get us that to track the vehicle from that? We couldn't do that. So anything, that's to say, I don't know what the police department have done. In my opinion, they didn't do anything. I mean, the only thing they did have done is put everything in the report to appear as if they did anything. Just say they did this, and say that I haven't seen any real tangible evidence of them ever doing anything real in my son's case. Only thing I can say, I can verify, is that after this so-called Phoenix Firebird search they claim they did almost 3 days after my son went missing, is the Civil Air Patrol search. Because I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that helicopter flight story. Based on the crazy part, I got that from the guy at the well site. He said he was there the day they supposed to have been doing the search. He was there at the well site. He didn't see no helicopter or hear no helicopter, or any police didn't come to that well site if my son went missing that day. So that made me suspicious and say, hey, they just lying to my family. They lying to us and say they did this Phoenix Firebird helicopter flight, so I came out there when they said they're gonna do the Civil Air Patrol, and yeah, the Civil Air Patrol guys showed up. I didn't see them as looking so professional. They didn't look so like they own 5 trucks. And I can tell you guys, they're just in a little pickup truck, little old men in their pickup truck, and they say they're very good at what they do. I mean, all thing I could do is take their word for it. But some reason they would not let me in the gate. They didn't want me to follow them to see what they were doing. And like I said, they claim they searched this area. They have a big map that shows them searching this area. And the weird part is, if you look at that map, you'll think the vehicle's already there according to their map. They got the map showing that Civil Air Patrol search was on July the 9th, and the vehicle wasn't found until July the 19th, 10 days after. But on their map, they already got the vehicle there in that spot. So before the vehicle even showed up in that spot. So, it's a lot of things to that, need to be looked into as well. So I don't know what this department have done at this point. So I can't vouch for what they have done, but I can say what I feel they done. They damaged my son's case. That's one thing they did for sure. Damaged my son's case, damaged the possibility of having a quick recovery of my son. Here it is a year, and they still sticking to a story. My son did all of this just with a head injury, according to them. He planned all this with a head injury just to leave his family, join the monastery, become a monk, is what I get together from that department. So I really, really don't know what to say about this department, what I feel they have done. In my opinion, nothing. All right. I do have Seneca Peters. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Q, your question here is, good morning. Can anyone go out and search in the area, or do we have to wait for organized search? Now, for me personally, my opinion is, I can tell people what to do out there. I have my organized searches, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes I went out there on my own as well on weekdays. Of course, I don't announce things like that. I go out there, and the other volunteers go out there during the weekdays outside. When I say outside of the organized searches, but me personally, I never ever tell anybody, and I encourage everybody to just do it on the organized searches because that's a safety briefing. We have a command center that provide water and electrolytes that you need, the foods, the snacks, as well as like I said, the team. I like to have that battle buddy system as well. I'm military, and one thing in the military we always have is battle buddies. Meaning that we all are family, and you assign up. In the military, they assign you a person, and you and that person is battle buddies, and you go everywhere together. So we go to where it's a team. So I look at everybody as a family on the searches and try to be everywhere as a team. Now they'll give me, even in the searches now, organized. So we do have people that runs off and go rogue and things like that. Like I said, I don't encourage those things. I know you're grown people. You can do what you want to do. But I don't encourage those things for your safety, for your own safety, because my mindset is I love my son. If nobody don't understand that, I don't know how. I'm out here working hard, stop my life to make sure I go look for my son. And, I love my son, but I'm not willing. At the same time, I'm not willing to risk anybody else's life or safety just to find my son. No, that's not going to fly. I could risk myself. He's my son. He's my responsibility. I have to do that. If I go out there in the desert on my own and something happened, it's because I went out there to go find my son. It's my responsibility. But I wouldn't ask anybody else to do the same for my son. So if a person go out there and search on their own, I can't stop you. But I also make sure I come to really, really encourage you not to if it's not organized. You don't have a set plan with a few people. If you go out there on your own and you have a plan of your own and you want to have your own safety measures up there, you have to do that on your own, but it's not encouraged by me as well. You know what I'm saying? I just know that I have to be responsible for my searches and make sure that everybody's safe. So that's one of the reasons why I was on pause for a while, but we can go into that some other time. But definitely rather for a person to wait till there's some organization of a search. All right. Thank you again for the question. Thank you, Kimberly, as well for your question. Have you checked with University of North Texas Center for Human Identification? They are supposed to help with forensics to LE and families of the missing persons for free. No, I haven't heard of them. I hear a lot of places that does certain things. I haven't found any yet, but I've been hearing people like yourself put out some things, and definitely would like to hear more about that and learn more about that. One thing for sure is I do know trying to get the forensics done now is a lot of stuff had to go through my attorney or got to go through attorney or go through investigator. So but the biggest part is to have the money for that. So definitely saying so definitely just trying my best to get this thing done. But yeah, I definitely have to reach out to different labs and stuff like that to find the right one, the right fit. I did have one that was given to me. It was supposed to be given to me information about a lab that definitely can help me out. Still waiting on information. Now this information coming from one of the a law enforcement agent who gave me some inside scoops, some things. So hopefully I can get those things done. And thank you, Kimberly, for putting that out there to me. All right, I have a question here, Esther Levy. Thank you so much. The question is it true that there was another person working with Daniel on the first well site? Have you heard anything about this? No, I have not. All I got from his job was that he went to that first well site to get some information, which I do, to check on that well site, as well, I was told. But I do know that Daniel took some pictures of at that well site, which is he did something a little different for whatever reason, taking a picture of that the logs and things like that. Still trying to determine what those are. Just haven't found the right person to do so. I found one person in New York, and I had changed my mind to give him that information. I had to have the right vibe of a person as well. So, to make sure I'm getting the right person to read these this information that my son took a picture of. So, all right. Thank you so much for that question, as well as thank you for being here this morning. No, I'll look into that a little bit more. Like I said, that's all they gave me a job. I just kind of pressed them on that as well, about a little more about that first well site. All right. Thank you, Latoria. I had to say this. I know this is not a question, but every time you come on, you make me smile. You know that I've known you for a long time, and your dad, he's my best friend. I really appreciate you being here this morning. You and your family. I love you very much. I love all of you and your family. Thanks so much for sharing your time on this Q&A. I know your father probably watching as well. So thank you, Freeman, for being here as well. I love you all. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you also, Sheroes Nation. I just want to mention that as well for being here this morning. And also Lois Strickland, thank you for being here. I think you're in North Carolina, so thanks so much for being here as well for this Q&A. If anybody have any more questions, please, by all means, put the question here with a capital letter Q, like I said, or the word question before your question, or some question marks. As I come down the comment section, I can see that. Thank you, Karita, for being here this morning. I really appreciate you taking your time. And thank you for helping out on the last search Saturday past. Thank you for coming out there in the desert out there to help as well. Take your time on Saturday to come out there to help me search for my son, as well as the events, that you can show a lot of support for my cause and everything we're doing with the team and meeting the team and everybody, and helping out as much as you can. I really appreciate all that you do, and you do in that background. So thank you so much. Thank you, Claudia Brown, for being here this morning. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we definitely need a closure. Didn't need answers and things like that. I need law enforcement. Not Buckeye. I need law enforcement to step in and help, find these answers that I need in my son's case. Thank you, Tanya Beth, for being here this morning. Thank you, Brooke, for being here this morning. I really appreciate it. You don't have a question. Thank you so much for. But I want to say that for whatever reason, I think about you and your son especially a lot. My comment every time I see you post on Twitter and now on here. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Brooke, for your love and support, and thank you for being here this morning off of the YouTube channel. I really appreciate you. Your support. We need that support. The family needs that support. I talked to Daniel's mother a few days ago now. She's taking it really hard. Of course, she's a mother, and it's been a year. We talked about it, and it's very difficult time to actually imagine not hearing your child's voice for an entire year. It's devastating. It's devastating. All kind of thoughts run across your mind, of course. With all of that, you still try to somehow have some type of form of faith. But like I told you guys, my faith is different. I have faith, but my faith is backed by actions. I have faith that my actions, what I'm doing, and everything I'm trying to do for my son, it fan out one day. I get the answers I need for my family, and I'll find my son. And so, but it's hard. It's hard to go through it. It's very hard. So it's rough. But anyway, thank you guys for, like I said, being here this morning. We got these questions. Let's go ahead and get these questions. We're gonna make it through this morning. Sheroes Nation, thanks so much for being here. I already said it before. Thank you again for being here as well. Thank you guys for, if you have put your voice to the petition. If you put your voice to the petition, I really appreciate that. Right now, thank you, Sophia, for putting us up. 117,868 voices. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. Like I said, I remember there's only 10 voices on there, and you guys have been signing that petition, has been putting your voice to that petition, and speaking on my behalf. Saying, you guys, by doing that, you're amplifying your voice, you're backing me up. Those things are very important. I may keep talking about it over and over again. I'm waiting on that magic number, as well as the magic, not really magic number, but that magic time when God tell me, hey, look, this is the time to utilize the petition. That's what I'm waiting on. So you guys continue to sign that for me, or put your voice to it, like I like to say. I really appreciate that. You go on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and go into the petition tab and go ahead and put your voice to that. One thing I can't tell you, and you guys don't know, when you do that, you have to, I think they send you email, verification email, and we need to go ahead and do that as well to make sure that your voice is actually recorded on that number. So if they ask you that, so thank you so much. And as well as in, you do not have to, and I do need you understand as well. It will ask you for donations towards the petition. You don't have to do that unless you want to, but that donation don't come to me. You know what I'm saying? Don't come to me or my family. So you need to be aware of that as well. That is going to change.org. They have their own little set way of getting, I guess, their funding for allowing people to use their platform for the petition. You don't have to do that. That's not a requirement. But you got to understand that do not involve me at all. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to donating, if you guys want to donate, don't donate to change.org. You can donate at pleasehelpfinddaniel.com under the donation tab. So you can do that, and that's the GoFundMe. So if you guys can be aware of that as well. I kind of reluctant to put that out all the time. I keep forgetting about that petition. It does do that, have that change.org where they have some type of tip thing or something like, you give a tip to them or some kind of donation or whatever it is to keep their platform running or something out of it. All right. Thank you. Also Larnell for being here, being a team member as well as a board member. Thanks so much, all your hard work you're doing, sir. I really appreciate you being here this morning and your support. Good morning to you. As well as Margot, thanks so much for being here. You're from Southwest Louisiana. I hope I say your name correctly. I'm too far away for flyers, and you're not too far. No, you're not. Matter of fact, I'm glad I read that because that's a PDF on the pleasehelpfinddaniel.com website. Go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. That's a PDF. You can print those flyers out yourself, or if you need some flyers sent to you as well. I'm changing it up because I haven't gotten really far behind on the public cell phone. It's been overwhelmed, and a lot of people has been asking for flyers and probably never gotten them because of that. And one of the things is go ahead and reach out to me on pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com. That helps as well to try to get the flyers out to you if you want flyers, as well as I'm trying to get this ambassador program set. So you guys, I'm still looking. I know some people already asked to be a part of that, and your name is still there, but I need a certain amount of number of people as well that want to do that. So if you want to be a part of the ambassador thing and want flyers to pass out in your own city distribution, that'll help out a lot. Like I said, I'm trying to reach every city I can in the United States, and your town, your city can help as well, because there may be that one person that knows something in your town or your city, believe it or not, that may know little something and enough to give us some answers about Daniel, as well as it help in the future with the foundation. Daniel Robinson Foundation will be depending on some of that as well to get those flyers out for other families. So you want to be a part of the ambassador program where you get these flyers out in your city. Like I said, just put your request in at pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com. That would help, so help in many ways. So I'm really grateful for those who have already decided they want to do so. And I will have that, once I get that number of people, I will be able to start that program as well. All right. Thank you, everybody, again for being here. I happen to see a question. If you guys have questions, please put the word question there first, or some question mark, or big letter Q or something where I can see your question, because I almost missed this one. Brooke, almost missed your question there, and I'm glad I happened to see it. Do you have any volunteer searches coming up anytime soon? Is this something you do often already? We did over 40 some weeks of searches, like I said before, and as well as over 32,000 acres covered, and probably more like 35,000 acres. Those some searches I've been doing well before my last search coordinator recorded. And so those numbers are not the exact, but it's at least over 32,000 acres. Could be, like I said, as much as 35,000 acres covered. But as in the searches, Brooke, I have put those things on pause. I did have a search last weekend out there in the desert, and that was based on having the ability to get the resources out. One of the biggest things that was a concern for me when it comes to searches is the resources as well as the safety of the volunteers. Like I said, I've noticed that I didn't have a command center anymore. I noticed that some of those resources and things when it comes to razors and things I was renting out, though they're expensive, I have been written out. They was needed. So in hindsight, looking at some of those things, so I had started kind of drilling down, trying to save some of your money as well as my own to remain here in Arizona and do all the distributions to everything I'm doing here, investigative wise. And so some of those things had to be cut. I had the searches every week to cutting it down to every other week, just to try to save. And then that didn't work. I started cutting back on those, like I said, those resources that really needed out there for the volunteer safety to keep the search afloat. Try to do it at a bare minimum. But I did have a volunteer to have a heat injury, and when I said heat injury, she felt very, of course, affected by the heat. I went out there with didn't have the resources I really wanted. Like I even didn't have a pickup truck. I had to use a U-Haul van to go out there. And when I had to pick her up to get her cool off really fast and get her to the medic, we did have a medic out there, but the medic wasn't in the command center where it should have been. She was in a pickup truck, but she was on the other side of the desert area that we were searching. And I had to go get this volunteer with that van. But when she got in the vehicle to cool off, the van got stuck. That was a red flag for me. It was really hard for me. We got stuck there. We had to get pulled out, and she needed to get to the medic. We had to get the vehicle pulled out of there. And once the vehicle got pulled out, I was able to get her to the medic. Thank God she was fine. She got the electrolytes in. She just needed some water. She needed to cool off. She was fine. But you know what? That's one thing that I said, you know what? It would never, ever happen again. And that was the defining moment that the searches had to be on pause. Saying, oh, no, that's not going to happen ever again. If not in my watch. So I'm a very responsible person. I'm really a loving person. I love everybody who volunteered, whether they know it or not. No matter what your position was, helping me out there in the desert, you all would volunteer to come out there and to help me. And I'm very grateful for all those who have. And I'm definitely, like I said, would not put other people's family in harm's way just to go find my son. That's not going to happen on my watch. So, again, yes, as in upcoming searches here, I'm still making this determinations. You guys can please watch pleasehelpfinddaniel.com for that. Right now, you probably see some of that search stuff disappeared. I took that off last night. Everything that's dealing with desert searches right now, I took it off for a reason. I took it off for a reason. Those searches out there would be planned searches from now on, based on the foundation and things like that when it comes up. Because like I said, the resources had to be there as well as the planning had to be there, and also the staffing that I need to make sure that it's done properly. So it's not something that I'm taking lightly. I have to, it's a hard decision, but like I say, my decision is based on everybody else, as well as being able to help other families when the foundation fully is there. The foundation exists. Daniel Robinson Foundation exists. We're working on it, but when it's fully operational and doing some things out there, it's not going to run like like it's running now. The searches out there, it's going to be running out there for other families as well, to help other families. So make sure to get those structures right. All right, but thank you. Just keep looking out for pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, and you definitely will have that information soon. If ever that search should come up again, it will. You'll find it on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You start seeing that stuff about the searches. Planned organized search for Daniel Robinson. Not in the searches everybody else doing out there on their own. I'm not advocating that, but any searches that on behalf of carrying my name, my family's name, will be on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. That effort will be coming through that direction. All right. All right, I do have this right here. Thanks to Phil for putting this up. If you want to print the flyers, it's right there on a PDF. They're right there. Just you have listed here on the chats. As well as pleasehelpfinddaniel.com under the PDF tab. You can get that as well. So everybody, if you can, if you have any more questions, please, utilize that capital letter Q, or there you go, capital letter Q, or question mark, or the word question before your question. That helps out. I did find one here. Thank you, Beans 1170. Thanks so much for being here again. Has Daniel case gotten national attention? Yes, it has. It's been featured on CNN to Fox. Yes, it has. It's been on Red Table Talk to Dr. Oz, you name it. His story has been out there, and I'm fortunate. A lot of families do not get that. When I say unfortunate, we are fortunate. I've been working hard, you guys. Like I tell you before, I'm not gonna, I've kind of been sitting in the back and letting people dictate the story to how Daniel name got out there. And I had to be honest. I was not a guy that want to sit there and try to pat myself on the shoulder or something like that. But sometimes it's important to say things and put it in right perspective, and show you how things really happens in this country when certain people they're not afforded the same treatment as others. I got in Arizona. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know my daughter and we was riding around Arizona. I got to pick her up, and we were riding around Arizona. Didn't know anyone, but we was reaching out to everybody from the Red Cross to you name it. I mean, we just reaching people. Anybody think we went to the NAACP searching them. I mean, they had went to an address that didn't exist or something. That was weird, but we was everywhere. We was everywhere doing everything we can to searching the airports and all kinds of stuff, parking lots and whatever the case may be, while working with Buckeye, the police department, to get information and give all the information we can to them to help us, But I can say, as in when it comes to terms of my son's name getting out there, it took a long, hard 3 months. I mean, I've been up day and night. I can't let nobody take that away from the hard work that I had to put in. I mean, you can't just sit on your hands. Like I said before, you got to be an action person. And it took me no sleep. I literally didn't get sleep. And the reason why, because I'm up all night trying to find ways to put my son's story out there, to get it on local news at that, and also to try to get it nationally. But the last thing I did every night was to write each person who wrote to me. There was people out there who saying supporting from day one. When I came on social media, started talking about my missing son, they was there from day one. I made it a point to hit up every last one of those persons before I go to bed at night. That was the last thing I did. And the reason why I want to make sure, first of all, I'm grateful for those people who's been reaching out. The other part, those people was the avenue to put my son's stories out there. You talk to people, they start telling your story, they start sharing it on their pages. So that's why I've been working that angle really hard. Until I had to get Josh Sanders and also Nicole Grigg. I finally got in contact with those two people in Phoenix, news reporters from two different channels, news stations. Help me get Daniel's story out locally. Start off locally, getting Daniel's story out there, pushing hard. 3 months now, pushing hard. And then all of a sudden, I went out and started hitting up all these celebrities, to you name it, to these people, day and night, working hard on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, really hard to try to get Daniel's name out there. And then it finally caught. It caught in two ways. One way, somebody took one of my tweets and retweeted it and add her own twist to it, and it went viral. The second thing happened is I went out to Joy Reid and started hitting up her people. I couldn't get to her, but her people got to her, and she put the story out, as well as the same time the Petito family situation happened. So that all that was because of efforts. They would have never even heard of Daniel Robinson. They would have never ever even picked up his story if they didn't know who he was. It came from the hard work. It came from three months of hard work just to get to it. It's the right timing when that Petito thing happened that have pushed it out a little farther. So that's the kind of thing I want to put out there and make sure everybody understands that point. Yes, it got a lot of national attention, but since that time, only thing I can get from some of those reporters as well, and on the national stage, is if I put out like things I'm doing right now for other families. When I had a day of remembrance, for instance, I'm using that as an example. Now that we had to reschedule it because of this protest stuff that happened, but when I was pushing out to them, the only thing they keep asking me sometimes when I talk to these reporters now, and I have a lot of them, I realized I must have did over 100 some interviews. It's like shocking to me when I had to go push out this information out, try to get people to come out and put Daniel's the day of remembrance out, or continue to put Daniel's story out. The only thing I hear from them every time is what's new, and they'll reach out to them this time. What's new? They look for that new thing. They look for something new, something exciting. Ain't nothing exciting about my son missing. Sad case that my son is still missing after a year. So I don't have nothing to give them. Have they been? The police department have been active as they was on that Petito case. Have all the law enforcement agencies there, all the FBI, whoever. Probably had even Border Patrol out there. I don't know. They had a lot of people. They spent millions of dollars. I was looking at the murderer, the guy that killed that young lady. They spent over millions of dollars searching for a murderer. You know what I'm saying? But they can't even spend a dime on my son. So what I'm saying, that don't give that kind of attention. They give that kind of attention. Yeah, you always gonna have breaking news and people all into the story, and it lasts for a month or whatever, 2 months or whatever it was, the length of time they're talking about those two. That's because they're getting all that attention. That's because they're getting all that resources. They're getting all of this. They start putting out that kind of resources on Daniel case, the law enforcement I'm talking about. Yeah, news reporters will be there all day, every day, talking about it for weeks, like they did in that Petito case. So because they're not doing anything, because there's no new leads, because of that, there's no new action. Oh, the police out here now today with cadaver dogs. Oh, the police out here with 5 helicopters. Oh, they look for stuff like that just to keep that story rolling. Oh, guess what? Today they found some human remains out there. That type deal. That stuff. What keeps that news cycle going. I learned that, and that's the reason why I have this Q&A right now, is because of that fact. You know what I'm saying? Once you don't have that kind of excitement or anything that will keep a news cycle going, it kind of goes on the back burner. But yes, it did reach that national attention as well. I'm really grateful for that. But my job as a father is to keep my son's name out there, because my concern is to reach that person that's going to actually say something and know something, and really get Daniel's name out there as far as I can, all over this country or wherever, and make sure that I reach that person or persons. That's my main concern, and that's the reason why I'm doing it. That's the reason why I want Daniel's name out here, and that's the reason why I'm on here, or the reason why I'm doing interviews and things like that. So, all right. Thank you again for your next question. Just curious, has there been any flyer distributed in Philadelphia area? Well, I do have family there. I'm not sure. I'm hoping so. My family, they do have the ability as well to print out the flyers that I have on the and I hope they're here to hear me say this, but have the ability to print out those flyers from my PDF that is on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. So I'm assuming that's what my family would be doing. So I can say possibly yes. But as in the effort, somebody reaching out to me and asking for those flyers, no, I can't remember. Maybe so, but I can't remember. Some of those flyers went out. I don't know. I can't remember exactly where, but Philly, maybe so, if my family members picked that up and just did. That's one thing I would have done for me and my family, if my family was providing those type stuff for a missing loved one in our family. God forbid it ever happen again. Yeah, it'd be automatic for me. You know what? I'm working where I'm at to find my loved one as well. So it's a team effort. It's definitely a family effort. And so I hope so. I hope so is out there. All right, Cheryl. Thank you for your question. Were fingerprints taken from his car? I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? One thing Buckeyes claim they did after I requested it. You guys think about that. The vehicle was found on July 19th. They gave the vehicle over to me. I wasn't able just to get it out of the compound just yet. But for 3 days, I so happened to have a meeting already set up with Chief Hall and the rest of them. And in that meeting, I did ask for them to do some forensic where they didn't do it at the scene. I was really uptight about that, but I asked them to do the fingerprinting. They agreed to do it. They held a vehicle for those couple of days to do the fingerprinting. They say they did. So yes, they claim they did. And as far as I understand, the pictures they've taken, I'm really questioning about it, because I don't know what they used to do fingerprinting, but there was no indication just by the pictures. I haven't physically seen the vehicle, but by the pictures I've seen, detailed pictures of that vehicle inside. Once it's been in my investigators' possession, there wasn't anything that suggests fingerprinting. I don't know the kind of powder they use or what they use or whatever the case may be. But I have to take their word for it for right now, that they say they did it. Yes. All right. Thank you, RS Julius. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for coming out on the Facebook side. Julicia, thanks so much. And you're Robinson. Thanks so much for being here this morning. Off the Facebook side as well, coming in this Q&A. I do have a question here from Kimberly. Thanks so much again for you coming out as well this morning. Can you give an update on unidentified body tips from Nameless? No, I do not have one for us yet, but I will if I can. I have to set with investigative side and see if that's something I put out or not, and things like that. If I get the information like that. So no, I don't have that right now at this time. So thank you so much for that question. If you guys have any questions, again, please, by all means, definitely please, put the question there, the word question there, or Q there, or some question marks and things like that. I can find it as I'm coming down the comment section. Also, let's see here. See if there's anything else I need to put out as well. Thank you, Brooke, for being here as well. I really appreciate you coming out this morning on this Q&A. And thank you for your connections with my son. I really appreciate it. I do briefly read that. But thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that love and your attention there. Yeah. Daniel has that. He has that way of affecting people. So Daniel's a person that brings people together. He brings the family together. That's why he's so missed by us. He missed by us in so many ways. I know he missed by me in so many ways. I want to say this, and I didn't mention it, but my mother had a 70th birthday, right, celebration, and one of the things that was Mrs. Daniel. And there's a reason why I say that. Out of his siblings, not taking away from them, but one thing Daniel would have done, he definitely would have been all out, reaching out to his grandmother. Like I told you how he is. Daniel is just like that. He's one of my children that will go the extra mile to reach out to his grandmother. And I couldn't imagine, her birthday, her 70th birthday, a milestone. It was hard for her. Not to have her grandson to say happy birthday to her. And I thought about that when I was looking at my mother the other day, and she loved all her grandchildren. And just to see that, Daniel, that one child who will, he just go extra mile. That's all I could put it. And the kind of character and the person that he is when it comes to family. But anyway, it's a thought. Saying just kind of miss that certain things about him, the way he is when it comes to family, and it comes to his friends. He still approaches friends the same way. I'm sure that a lot of his friends would tell you that Daniel's probably one of the best friends you could have. Thank you so much, bro. All right, I have a question here from Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. Know you a long time. Thanks so much for being here this morning. Is Daniel case still open? Well, they claim it is. Yeah, the Buckeye Police Department claim it is. And are you still in contact with the Buckeye Police Department? Barely in contact with them. All the time I hear from them, they need something. Like I said before, or I reach out to them. They may call me a day or two after that. Call me back. So I did get some answers. Last I talked to them was recently. The detective on the case, I talked to him recently on some matters, some clarity on some matters that involved a tip that came in the chats. I did get answers about that. I got answers what they say they did. I'm really confident and hopeful that they really did those things that they say they did and checked into. And I just have to leave that at that. Which was good for the outcome of that. In my opinion, was very good to hear that they actually, if they actually did it, they actually did something when it came to this tip, the checking the tip that I've been trying to check in for myself. That I was limited. Like I told you guys, I'm not law enforcement. I'm only limited to certain areas when it comes to trying to find answers about things that happened to my son. I'm limited. But law enforcement has a lot more power. They're not limited like that. So, but they say they looked into the situation and it's being cleared out. And I'm grateful for that part. So, all right. Here we go. Toaster 13,000. Thanks for being here this morning. Update on the forensics for the phone you sent out. I cannot give out the information yet anymore. That's one thing I'm not going to be able to do because of the circumstances right now dealing with that. So thanks so much for the question. And, I won't be able to give you an answer for that one just yet. So, all right. Thank you guys. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask those. I think I have one from Karita. Thank you so much for being here again. Like I said, thanks for everything you do. Questions, have you met with the governor of Arizona to request funds? No, I have not. I didn't know you could actually do that, but no, I haven't at all reached out to the governor yet. What I'm saying? That'll be some of the stuff you guys know. I have been to the city councils. Like I said, that's been effective. I had a lot of what's been effective wasn't effective with Buckeye, of course, the city councils, but I can say it was very effective with the city of Phoenix, who's been very attentive to me coming there, and also the city of Tempe, who's been very helpful when I went there. So even with the police department. So, both of them, both police departments, the Phoenix Police Department as well as the Tempe Police Department has really been out there trying to help. You know what I'm saying? They reached out to me. When I say trying to help, they reached out to me and gave me the offer of a help. So I'm still working with them as well to try to see you go further than that. But right now, it's just the fact that, at the city council meeting, they did a whole lot. I'll tell you, sometimes one of the biggest things with these people, man, especially law enforcement, is that when the attitude that these, and also the sheriff is on of Maricopa County as well, reaching out. So I'm just saying, sometimes it takes just that with a family to be able to just at least say something and show some concern. And like I said, Sheriff is on the Phoenix Police Department as well as Tempe showed just that. I can't say that for the Buckeye Police Department. They have yet to this date that city council meeting didn't turn out for nothing. This stuff will happen in their city, their city, as well as my efforts at finding human remains and everything else out there happening in their city, and they haven't even so much as waved at me or give me their condolences or anything concerning my son, even when I came up to their face twice. But like I said, again, that just shows you, people show you who they are. You just got to believe them. They show you who they are and what they're all about, and you just got to believe it. You're only gonna take what their actions are. Actions speak louder than words. They can say what they want to on CNN when Chief Hall said, "Oh, this father from the true family." She said, "The family think you don't care. Either that's father from the true." Well, show me your actions that you care. There's none. So you can say what you want to your mouth, but your heart shows everything. Saying your action shows your heart. So, all right. All right, here we go. Right here, Captain again. Who is Dylan Rowland? I don't know. That name don't ring a bell. But thanks so much for your question. If you guys have any more questions, please, by all means, put that question mark. I think I seen one. I just passed it here. And I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any information as well. I want to pass out to you all. If the team is there, you got some information I need to pass out, please let me know. Some things I'm going kind of fast here this morning, and I may have forgotten something. Mr. Robinson, if the city council from Tempe and Phoenix can help in getting the case moved to another LE agency? I'm working on that now. I'm working on that as well. You kind of spoke on some things that's happening in the background. Working on that now. I do have contact with Phoenix. I do have contact with Tempe. I do have contact with Sheriff Zone of Maricopa County. So I'm waiting on these meetings that they want to have with me as well. So I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that right now. These meetings supposed to happen last week. They had some that's supposed to happen last week, but I'm still working on it. Still working on it. So I am looking into those as well. So thank you for those questions. All right. Let me see here. All right. I do have one from T and Wildflower. Thank you so much again. Mr. Robinson, do you know if the city councils from Tempe and Phoenix can help me get the case moved to another? And I think I must have pushed that button twice, so apologize for that. All right, Kate, thank you for being here this morning, and thank you for your question. Did coworker notice Daniel getting a text message on his phone before Daniel left? I don't know what the coworker or the guy that was working with him from wherever saw. He didn't mention in the text messages or whatever, but I can't tell you exactly what I know. I do have some information, of course. What I know was in Daniel's phone between those two and between other folks. It's kind of ironic though to even say that. Just some of the information I do know, and I really have things that I really would like to put out, but I can't. So of course I have my own investigation as well. Some of those answers I do have as well. So thanks so much for your question. All right, Tracy, thanks so much for your question. YouTube, how long did Ken Elliott continue to go out to the work site after 23rd? He's been doing it for a while. Because like I said, I got there on the 26th. And, when I went to go talk to him a few days after 26th, He told me, and he was there that day when I went to go meet him. So I'm sure he was there at least a week or so after my son went missing. He still was out there every day. Out there every day. He told me he's out there every day. Now he tell me, and working that well. Yeah. So he was there. He was there definitely the day they claimed Buckeye claimed they had the Silver Ever. I mean, it was Phoenix Firebird, which he said he didn't hear or see. And it was definitely no police officer at the well site that they claimed they went to go search the well site. He said they wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So he contradicted their story about them being there. So I don't know, but he was there. He claimed when he told me verbally, yeah, he was there since my son been missing every day. From that time on the 26th. So yeah, he's been there for a while. I don't know after that point how long he's been after that point. I talked to him, but at least to the 26th. I mean, we're a couple of days after 26th. I'll say about the 30th. He's been there. So, all right. Thank you, Shauna, for your question. I don't know if you are able to say not. According to one of the police reports, Daniel took pictures on the phone of work logs. He did, on that first website. Has the Matrix New World ever indicate that they received those? No, they have not. They haven't indicate anything. I don't see any suggestion that Daniel even sent it off his phone to anybody, from what I've seen. And but yeah, he did take those pictures from that first well site for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I kind of, when I sent through Daniel's phone, of course, I talk to Daniel all the time at these well sites, and I have never known Daniel to, tell me about taking any pictures and things like that. But this one time, yeah, he decided to take pictures for whatever reason of these work logs. And like I said, I want to have them analyzed so bad. I've been reaching out to the right person to do so. I just have a trust issue with certain people, and I want to make sure I get the right persons to do so, give me the right answers to those. So, all right. And one thing I want to put out here, because there's some things that happen before I get off this Q&A. I want you guys to know there's one thing I want to set straight. I have been developing this Q&A, like I said, for a reason. I have been out there searching for my son for a reason. I've been doing my own investigation for a reason, and I've been trying to point out some of those reasons. And one thing I can tell you guys, since I've been doing this, since I've been in Arizona, since I've been fighting for my son, I never have ever one time appointed anybody to represent my family. As in, when I say represent my family, to speak on behalf of my family. Only one time, my investigator, my former investigator, he used to do a lot of interviews and things like that. He was talking on behalf of the investigation, on behalf of his findings and things like that. But as in, when it comes to my family, me, what I know about my son's case. There's a lot of things I know about my son's case, and I cannot put out. It's hard for me to say the same things over and over again when I have information that suggests a lot to me that's not on a good favor for me and my family. But I have a lot of information. I have a lot of evidence. I have a lot of things I know about my son's case, right, that nobody else have privy to. So when you have people out there making statements, making videos, or whatever the case may be, as if they're the authority to my son's case, and the authority to speak on my behalf as a family member, or know everything that's going on in my son's case, and the things, especially if they contradict anything that I say here on the Q&A. I can't tell you they're not working for me on my behalf. They're not speaking for my family on their behalf, and they're not privy to the information that I do know about my son's case. And as well as the things I say on here is on the best of my ability, my knowledge, and the things I do know based on the facts that I know. So sometimes I have people out there going out and contradict. So things, for instance, if I say, hey, we found human remains out there, and there'd be some things out there, the person would go out and say some things against that. Or, on behalf or like my son, I went out to do a physical. I told you guys, I go out in the desert on my own. To do a physical check of this area where my son's vehicle was found to prove that it was on federal land. That's based on a BLM map that was given to me, and I had to verify with the very map they gave me to see if that, and they verified for me by giving me that map, and to say it's on federal land. But then you have someone say, "Oh, it's not on federal land." I mean, they don't have the information that I have. So the things I want to let you guys know straight. If you don't hear it from me, those are called secondhand knowledge or secondhand speaking. Nobody don't speak for me. Nobody's can talk on my family's behalf on things like that. You can have they have their own discussions and things like that. I can't stop that from people. But I want to say that if it don't come from Please Help Find Daniel YouTube channel, it don't come from Please Help Find for Twitter channel or Instagram, Please Help Find Daniel or Facebook and things like that, or out my mouth right now, is not coming on behalf of my family. So there's a lot of things out there. I want you guys to also always remember that if it's not coming directly from me, because I don't help people, I don't put spokesmen out on my behalf to speak for me. And if I do, it would be my board members for the Daniel Robinson Foundation. I will explain that to you guys later. Be my board members as well as my team members to speak on my behalf. But for right now, I want to speak for myself, and everything I put out is based on myself. It's, of course, this is my son's case. I've been out here since day one, fighting for my son, and nobody speaks on my behalf. I let a lot of things slide that goes out there, but it's very troublesome to me, and it's very hurtful when I'm out here trying my best and do everything I can. And there's people out there. Sometimes, man, people definitely. I don't know for a reason. I can't speak for people and their mindsets and reason why things happen the way they do, but I can say, people can turn anything into a negative. So definitely want to know that. I want everybody up front, first of all, to know that I love you all. I love you all who come out to help me from day one. I love everybody who do much as they can. I mean, rather just support me here on this Q&A, just listen to me say this thing over and over again. To put Dane's story out there, I have no mean bone in my body towards people. I can be mean if you step on my family. But I'm not a person that goes out and mean any harm to anybody. I haven't made my choices based on my love for my son. For instance, if I had God blessed me with a team. A capable team, very good team. You meet these people, a very great team. We have very good cohesiveness as a family, and God brought them to me. Saying it helped me out from day one. I met these. Don't they don't take away from everybody else who've been helping me from day one. I love them too. I love them. I appreciate them. I'll never ever forget for what they have done. They volunteer their time with me, and I love them for that. I'm really grateful for every bit of time they have given me to help find my son. But sometimes, I had to make these choices to, I'm trying to find my son. I'm trying to help other families. So those choices I make is based on that. It's no ill will to anybody. It's not throwing anybody away, or don't make. I really hope I don't make people feel that way. I just want to make sure I'm just putting this out. You guys probably understand where I'm coming from, but those who know where I'm coming from. I'm out here. My main focus is to find my son. And and I, like I said, and to thank everybody who helped me along the way. And also my goal is to hopefully, I became passionate about it as well, to help other family members not to go through this what me and my family has been going through. And if it's some kind of way I can help other families, I'm pushing for that. I don't care if it's a little bit. We're gonna put a small dent somewhere. We're gonna put a small dent into the way police missing person cases, for instance. That's where things I'm planning to do, and I have a capable team that can help me get there. Not saying these other people wasn't capable, but God put these people in place that I have now for that purpose. There's a different phase that I'm going through, and that's part of the Daniel Robinson Foundation. I have to go that direction to not just to achieve two goals: to help me better search for my son, to get the funding that I need to do that as well, and also to be able to help other families. So I have to make those hard choices, and those choices I had to make. So just want to put that out. Just want to put that out there. No hard feelings. I love everybody. I love you all that's been out the searches, who out there in the desert with me every week for those 40-some weeks. It meant a lot to me, and still mean a lot to me. I'm in my family. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I really appreciate it. And I really say we still are family. We are family for life. So thanks so much. All right. I do have a question here. Will, thanks so much for you coming out on Facebook. What aid has Daniel's work been in the search? Well, when I first went out there and started my searches, I can't say, I don't know if it was a work type deal, like they put a bulletin on a job, but they was aware that I was doing the searches. One thing I can say, the owner of the Matrix did reach out to me. He even offered an office space for me. He opened up one of his office spaces there inside his building. His office space. He offered me a big room, a bit nice room, almost like a boardroom. and to be able to run the desert searches, my efforts to find Daniel out of. Only reason I didn't take that because I didn't think it was proper to have a family job relationship that way. I wanted to have a relationship with him, but it wasn't the right time, and it wasn't proper to me to not knowing what happened, not knowing what really going on at the time, to have that operation coming out of Matrix. And I do really thank the owners for reaching out and doing that. I also have gotten a large donation from Matrix New World to help towards the searches and things like that. So I'm really grateful for that as well. But as in coming out to help the searches at all, like I said, I don't know if that was a job mandate or not. But I do know that some of the workers, mainly Daniel's supervisor, did come out with his wife and then some other workers from Matrix to help out in the searches. They did come out and do things like direct people in from the gate. They did some searching on their own near the well site, things like that. So when I say on their own, they're part of my search, but they broke off. People's kind of stick together. Hey, we break people off in teams. The Matrix team kind of stayed together, and they like to, for some reason, search near the well site area. So they was hanging around there and doing their searches. So over time, of course, they started fading off. Only person that was remaining at the time was Daniel Boss. He came coming out to searches more than the others. Him and his wife was out there a lot, and then all of a sudden he started coming on his own, but I haven't seen him in a while now. So, but yeah, they did reach out at the beginning to help. So I do want to give them some credit for that. As in for the searches on their own, no, they have not. One thing that was really hurtful to me and my family as well is the fact that, hey, I told the owner this, look, that's my employee for my job. To me, it's your responsibility. I shouldn't have had to drive from South Carolina just to, go look for my son. They have money. That's a company. They have a lot of branches everywhere in this country, and that's a big company. It's a small company, but big company. And they have the resources that I don't have. They could have got a charter flight to go out there with a helicopter to look for my son. They could have, put those resources there to do so, but they chose not to. So I can't speak for that right now, but although I can say that those are things I haven't done on the first, and they had waited till I started my searches to help me in the search. When I say help me, just come in as a volunteer to my safety briefing, and I put them out in groups to go search certain areas. So that's what they have done. But other than that, on their own, no, they have not done any kind of efforts that I know of to search my son, other than I think his boss said he went to the well site or something, look around the well site. Him and one of the other workers, one of my son's friends from the job at the time. All right. Anybody have any more questions? Please feel free to ask those questions. Just like Will did here, put the letter Q there, big question mark, or the word question there before your question. They help me as I'm coming down the comment section. If I miss it somehow, please forgive me and just ask your question again. I don't mind doing it again, seeing it again, as well as if you don't have any questions get answered today on this Q&A, you can come back this evening, because I will have a Q&A this evening at 5:30 Phoenix time. That's also California time, Pacific time, as well as 8:30 p.m. Eastern time if you're on the East Coast. So you come back this evening. I'm really looking for a family. If family want to come on this evening to be part of Q&A, please reach out. I'd love to have you on. We won't have a lot of time to prep for it, but I would love to have you on. I'll try to do the best I can, and just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. So definitely. All right. I think that's it. I don't see any more questions here. One thing I want to put out as well is again, the Day of Remembrance, you guys. We did have that plan. I want to mention about that again. It's rescheduled. It had to be rescheduled. Day of Remembrance is rescheduled due to the protest they had for the Roe v. Wade decision from the Supreme Court. We have been given advisement from the officials there, from their expertise and what they noticed what happens in Phoenix, that is very not good for us. I have insurance. Of course, you have to get insurance and things like that. You have to have a permit. We had all of that. But you know what? One thing they explained to me, because of that protest, You guys would have came for the event, but these other people would have came for a different reason because of their anger. And the way they was explained to me, law enforcement was heavy, real heavy out there. They was out there like they was coming to war when I went out there to do a recon the day before. And one thing about it is they explained to us that, the officers won't look at who is who. You can say, oh, I'm with this Daniel Robinson thing and with the Day of Remembrance. They won't know to distinguish you from the other protests. As you know, there's tear gas deployed. We found out later. There was a vandalization of a statue down there because of this protest. Could you imagine if I had this, me and my team had this Day of Remembrance, you all would have been part of this tear gassing. And also the Day of Remembrance, we had a stain on it, as in, I do have to put insurance as well. Insurance would have to pay for the statue being vandalized, because that's where our event was located, would have been located. So there's a lot of things like that. But anyway, I want to make sure you guys understand that we really, really, the team, and I want to put that out, the team worked really hard to put this thing together. I mean, many days of reaching out to people to get organizations come in, from law enforcement to you name it. I'm really proud of them, and the team has done a really good job as in putting this event together. And it is very heartbreaking to want to do, and they just as passionate as I am, to want to do something for families, and then wasn't able to do it this time. But like I said, it's been rescheduled. We just come with a date that we want to do it, and when that date come, I definitely will start promoting it here on the Q&A, as well as the Please Help Find Daniel website. So you guys can keep checking in with the events tab on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com to hear more about the upcoming a Day of Remembrance. It's not going away. These families, but God have a way of letting things happen. I think is a perfect, because it gives families more time to join in, to bring your tables, bring your flyers, bring your pictures of your loved one, and tell your story. So it gives more time to get more resources out there for the families that's going to be out there as well. So I see it as an opportunity to do more for families. So also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to this channel. You guys have got us up to 1,000 subscribers, and that helped me get the algorithm going. So if you guys could please, if you're here for the first time, please hit that like, share, subscribe button, and share with your friends and have them do the same. I'm trying to get this channel to grow even more, and if it can grow even more, that means I can get Daniel's story out there farther. And I mean, I'm doing all kind of parts to try to get Daniel's story out there, whether it's flyer distribution to the billboards, to you name it. It gets Daniel's story out there, because I really need to definitely do that. So, all right. And don't forget the anonymous tip line, of course. You guys have that tip line there, for the person. It's not for you guys who just come out the Q&A, but it's for the person who knows something, or persons that know something. Please have a heart. Please, if you can do anything in your life right, there's one thing you can do right. If you want to leave this earth one day here with a clear conscience, do it now. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait till later. Don't wait till something happen and then you're ready to say something. Do it now. You know what I'm saying? There's a family suffering. I'm suffering. My children's suffering. His mother suffering. His grandparents is suffering. So, you know what I'm saying? The only thing a person like yourself could do the right thing. If you're here, you know something, and you listening to my Q&A, you out there watching the searches, you watching these interviews I've done, and you can sit still. No, you got to show some humanity, show some respect for yourself, and just go ahead and just answer and say something. I mean, it would be ridiculous for a person to keep. I mean, when you have an anonymous tip line, you know what I'm saying? You can be anonymous or non-anonymous if you're proud, and you can say, hey, come straight up. If you're a person who just want to say, and you want people to know, you can, either way. That's operator take your call 24 hours, 7 days a week. I pay for the service for you, and 24 hours, 7 days a week. Take your call, very courteous. They'll allow you to be anonymous if you want. If you don't want to talk to anybody, you also can text the word tip to that same number, and the form will still come out to help you stay anonymous. And if you still don't trust that, buy a burner phone. You can go to any CVS, Walgreens, or some of them stores and buy a burner phone and do the same thing. Then you can just text the word tip with the burner phone. If you don't, with no kind of tracking to you, buy the burner phone with cash or something. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. Just whatever you got to do. Just all thing I'm asking you guys, if you know something, just say something. Just go ahead and say something. Give us something tangible. I have tips and stuff like that. And some of them I know. I have got an anonymous tip the other day, and don't know who the person is, of course, but they didn't leave enough information for me to do anything with what they left. So if that person can hear me right now, I just need more information. I need more information. You got something you want to leave a little bit more detail for me to understand where you're coming from. The investigator to understand where you're coming from. Of course, right now, so just go ahead and just give more detail, go more detail, and so I can understand a little bit more where you're coming from. So, but I'll tell you what, the tip line is not for you to say, hey, I had this premonition or this thought that maybe you need to go check so and so and so. That's not the tip line. That's a advisement and things like that. So I really need that person who actually have a clue and know exactly what happened, and that can bring Daniel back home to me and my family. So, all right. And don't forget, if you guys want to contact me direct or my team, you go, me direct, 803-200-7994 is the number. That's a public cell phone number. I've been having a hard time keeping up with all the influx of text messages and things. I'm still working on that with the little time that I have in my day. But the easier way as well for my team as well, monitoring, please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. You can reach us as well. You can reach me and you can reach us, meaning my team as well. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. And, so if you guys want to help and you live in another city and you're not here in Arizona or anywhere close to Arizona and you really, really want to help, there's other ways you can help. You can go to other ways to help tab, volunteer in other ways tab, and put your information there. Because like I said, there's an upcoming, the foundation is here, but the foundation will be up and running really soon. And we do need those people, those volunteers, and learn your skill sets and things like that. You may be able to fit in into everything that we're doing, as well as you can also print out those flyers under the PDF tab off of pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. And that definitely would help as well, my efforts as well. So I just want to thank you guys for coming out here in support of this Q&A and the efforts in bringing awareness to my son's case. I'm going to be pushing as hard as I can every day, every breath that I got, to try to find my son. And I really, look for your support, to continue to support. And, so definitely do that. But I want to put one thing out here, and I don't want us to forget this. This is Sherry. She was she was out here telling her, Sherry Snyder, she was here the other week on the Q&A, talking about her mother's story, and Diane Francis. So, go help her out. I'm not going to forget this. That wasn't a one-time deal for her coming on this Q&A. She took her time and decided to come on this Q&A to share her mother's story. She trusts me to share on this channel, to share her mother's story. So, you know what? Please help her out. Don't forget about her. Keep her and her family in prayer. This lady, she's been working very hard for years to find her mother. And, I only have 1 year. My family and I have only 1 year in searching for Daniel. But this young lady, she's been doing it on her own. She has her sister as well, looking for her mother. She haven't gotten the help and stuff from law enforcement that she need. She had went through hell just to even get a report put in for her mother. So I don't want you guys to forget about her as well. Just make sure that that you support her in a way that you can. So I want to put her mother's picture up there as well. This is her mother, Diane Francis. So she have a better picture here. She'd like to use more of what her mother may look like now. You guys have information about her as well. You can go to just Google Missing Diane Francis. And that should come up with the whole story up on the Google search, as well as the contact information for Sherry is at ssnyder0615@gmail.com. You can reach out to her as well and support her. Support her. Hey, do what you do for me. Send her messages. Hey, look, we're supporting you. We're behind you. We're thinking about you. Whatever you want to say. If you got some resources and a little bit about story, her mother went missing out in Florida. Anything about this and you have information, you can use my tip line for that. So you can also, as well as reach out to Sherry. If Sherry don't mind, you can use my tip line. But I prefer you guys to reach out for her first. If all else fail, you can use the anonymous tip line. I don't mind to put out information, get information as well in her mother's situation. So it's an anonymous tip line that can be used that way as well. So the people that's doing that paying would take that as well. So all right. And don't forget about it. Don't forget about that as well. So I just wanted to put that there and remind you about Sherry's information from last week. You guys who've been here last week have been here to see her tell her mother's story. So hopefully she can come back on again and share some more. Hopefully she have more information about her mother that will bring some light into her story, or she actually found her mother. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really gonna have faith for her that she have her mother's found alive and well. So she's a young lady. She's been missing her mother since she was in her younger days, some years ago. And you can tell it's very hard on her and her sister. So I just want you guys, don't forget about them. Don't forget about those two. All right. All right. Thank you again. Thank you guys. Thank you again for coming in this Q&A. I really appreciate you guys. I think I ran out of questions here. I will check again. I think I do have a few. Okay, good. I do have a few that popped up here. And again, thank you guys for being here. If I miss your question, please bring it back on this evening Q&A, and I will try. All right. Did Daniel not have insurance by the workplace? I cannot put that information out. But thank you so much for that question. That's one thing I won't be able to put out as well. But thank you so much for that question. All right, and thanks for being here. I do have a question here from Midnight Rose. Good morning. I honestly feel like the phone can help understand more. It does, and that's what I'm, grateful for being checked out. When do you expect the forensics to come back? I'm been expecting that, and so I had to have some things I had to go through before I can get that done, taken care of, get it back, and things like that. So, but information from that phone, I will not be able to share that directly on Q&A and things like that. So, but I can share what I've found before sending those things off. So I found a lot just on my own. Some of the Google things I did get back. Some of the knowledge of the memory card missing, for instance, as well as some of the information, everything on that text message you guys seen on the police report, erased out his phone, that type deal. And the back, and also as well as Daniel's phone log. His phone logs and stuff don't match the number of text messages between those two and things like that. So I do have that information as well. So that type stuff. But as in more details that I'm looking for, I'm waiting on that. So all right, thank you for your question. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, you for being here as well, being a moderator and helping out. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We really definitely need that. You know what I'm saying? To get the algorithm going as well as thank you for putting that up. Multiple ways you can help. Please donate and sign the petition. On pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, as well as to contact me. Use that 200 number, or you can get me at pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com. And thank you for putting that out there. Kurita, thanks so much for coming in again with your question. Question is, what time will you hold the Q&A this evening? It'll be at 5:30 this evening, 5:30 p.m. That's in Arizona, Kurita, where you at, and as well as in California, on the Pacific time. Now on the on the East Coast, that'll be at 8:30 p.m. if you're on the East Coast. So please come back and be a part of that. Please, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for putting that out there, team. I really appreciate it as well. Putting information out for Kurita. But yes, it'll be at 5:30 p.m. Arizona time. That's Mountain Standard Time. And definitely we'll be back for that. So if you guys have questions and I missed your question this morning, bring your questions back. I need those questions. I like answering your questions, the ones I can. So please, by all means, bring your questions and I will give you answers that I can give. I can't, like I said, again, I can't give all these answers, but, I give you what I can. And then I want to say again, nobody speaks for the Robinson family but myself. I'm not the kind of guy who I'm capable. I have a voice. I have a mind. I do my own investigation. I don't know it all, but it happened in my son's case. I know the facts of the matter in this case. I know what's going on in this case. I know how many searches I've done. I know how, different things. I just know a lot. Of course, I'm actually doing these things. I'm actually putting my foot on the ground. I have my boots on the ground. I'm military, and I like to use that word because that's the way we talk. Yeah, I have my boots on the ground, searching for my son, and so definitely. Like I said, I would not. I'm my own mouthpiece. I have my own mouth. I speak for myself. I just want everybody to know that as well. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I will be going ahead and end this Q&A for right now, and you guys can come back this evening. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. So thank you so much. I will end this Q&A right now with this video that I put on first. I really love it. I want you guys to continue to pray for families of the missing. This is not the only family that's going through this. I'm really not the only one. It's not unique to us. Daniel being missing, it happened to a lot of other families, and I want y'all to don't forget about them as well. As you think about me and my family. So God bless you. I love each and every one of you. You do got to keep that in your own head, no matter what people say. Well, you may feel I don't have that kind of bone in my body, but I love each and every last one of you, especially you guys who have been helping me from day one. I really thank you for volunteering your time, your efforts, your 40 weeks of searches, for instance, or whatever you have done out there. I really appreciate every bit of it. It means a lot to me and my family. It's something I would never ever forget in life. I'm really grateful for everything you've done. So thank you guys. Love you, and see you this evening, this afternoon, and this Q&A prime time. God bless you.
You are my shelter.